Welcome back to another great episode of Comedians in Bed. And as always, um, I have another great guest for you. This is a place where comedians could be comedians, and I don't really know what that means. It just sounds like something you should say on a podcast. As always, I got a good introduction for you. Some people, I'm pretty sure some people have asked our next guest, man, what was it like, to work with Denzel? But I think people should ask Denzel, what was it like to work with Kente? Because this guy's blowing up. He's doing his thing. He's freaking hilarious. If you haven't seen him on your TV screen, you're going to see him right now. Please, everybody, give it up for the very funny, the very talented Kente Scott, everybody.
Hey, what's up, Ty? What's up, y'all? Appreciate y'all having me. I like that introduction. Yeah, tell Denzel, how is it working with me? Don't ask him that in real life because I don't want to get confused.
Man, I know grandma was happy when she saw that, or mom's was happy. Does mom still use that as a calling card? You know who Kente Scott is? That he was in the Denzel movie.
Yeah, the one who was most happy was low key my sister because she's been a Denzel fan since he had bad teeth. So she found out I was working with Denzel. She's like, I'm coming to the set. I need to meet him. So I was like, just don't embarrass me.
I think sometimes people forget Denzel had bad teeth, man. Like
you gotta go way back. Like you gotta go back to guest star Denzel. You got once he got the first movie, he was like, first thing I'm getting, dental plan.
Hey man, that's the way to do it. I don't know. I feel like those are like the first. There was like the 1.0 version of veneers. Like the veneers now are like upgraded and they look a little bulky and more weird, but they still do their thing.
Yeah, they were the originators of the veneers. He got his, and he's still look normal. And Jamie Foxx got his, and then after they started doing like BBLs, the BBLs of teeth or something. I don't know. Everybody might look like the Jim Carrey in Mask. Like, way to get a load of me. Like, hey man, that's a lot of teeth in there.
No, facts, man, facts. You are from the Bay Area. I've never been. I've been to Cali like a couple times, but I've never been to the Bay Area. Yeah. What is like the Bay Area? It's a black town. Is very rich in culture and tradition. What is the Bay Area? And I know everyone's excited in the Bay Area with Kendrick Lamar's song having that Bay Area sound.
Yeah. I'm from Oakland, born and raised originally, and Oakland used to be a black town. Gentrification and stole the soul from the city. It was literally West Coast chocolate city when I was growing up out there. Hammer came from there. Too Short, E40 from the Bay. It was a great place to be from. Like I said, it's really different now. It's like Oakland. It's like Oakland Light. It's like they took all the soul out of Oakland. So it's still cool to say you from there. But when I go home, I'll be like, this ain't where I grew up at all. But but now that Kendrick talking about, Oakland gonna be your last tour date and got us riding with him for the battle on Drake that we didn't even know we was part of. We'll take it though. We'll take it.
I love the Bay Area sound. One of my favorite rappers that you guys have right now is Lil Russell. I love Lil Russell. He's very I like positive rap now because like every time I listen to like Future or like I don't know Kodak Black, I'm like, that's not my lifestyle. I don't that's not my lifestyle, man. I can't do that. But I love Lil Russell. Have you listened to Lil Russell?
Nah, I gotta Google him. The young cat I knew is Simba out of the Bay. So Lil Russell, I gotta look him up. I'm about to Google him.
Yeah, man. He's pretty good, man. He's pretty good. What's your favorite memory of the Bay Area since it's not the same anymore? What's your favorite memory?
Oh man, they used to have a thing called Festival at the Lake, and it was like Freaknik, but not Freaknik. Like it wasn't as crazy as Freaknik, but it was our Oakland Festival at the Lake. My moms and them had a catering company, and we used to have a peach cobbler and fried fish station. And I used to be, that's how I would get the ladies. I'd be like, come on over, I'll give you a little extra peach cobbler, you give me a number. So yeah, I used to festival at the lake. I was there. That was the only time I was excited to work for Miles and Company. But they wouldn't even have to ask me. I'd be like, so festival at the lake, I'm working.
Yeah, man, that's what's up, man. We be having festivals up here and shit too, but they're not really the same because the kids they be like going up there and trying to fight and stuff.
Yeah, like that's when it always turned bad. At a certain point, the tipping point when the thugs find out about it and they just show up sitting ready to be like, oh, we just finna tear it up. Like, man, you messed it up for everybody.
Right. Yeah, man, it's crazy. What is from Oakland? Damn, I just had the next question in my goddamn head. It was from Oakland. Oh, okay, I know what it was. Since everybody's moving out of Oakland, state, Las Vegas, I mean the Raiders, everybody's moving out the A's. Who's like your team now, or do you still claim everybody?
Nah. Like I am legit. Like if you broke up with my and the Raiders used to be my team. My uncle was Willie Brown, who's a Hall of Famer for the Raiders. So I was born literally a Raider fan. But they broke up with my hometown twice. So I'm done with them. I call them the Vegas Traders now. But the cold part is their stadium is hella nice. Like their stadium, it's like if your girl break up with you and then start dating a millionaire, you'd be like, well, she still can't cook. so I low key and I was like a Ricky Henderson fan growing up with baseball, but not really a baseball fan. But since they left, I hope they don't win no more games ever. The Warriors, they moved across the bay, but then they just let Klay Thompson go. So I'm thinking I'm low key done with them. I still like Steph Curry, but the way they did Klay Thompson was kind of foul. So football, you know what? My mom was from Houston. I feel like this is the perfect time for me to get my LeBron James on with the choice and be like, I am taking my fan talents to Houston. I'm going to be a Houston Texans fan this year. So I'm a fan free agent. So I'm signing with Houston Texans for the next 3 seasons.
I used to be a Houston Texans fan because my dad, your parents, they got a team and they make you do it. So I was like, man, I don't really like my dad, so I'm gonna pick my own team. So I started. I'm still a Dolphins fan, but I was like, no, I'm gonna be a Houston Texans fan. This one, like when they first came out, like I had like a David Carr jersey and all that. Okay. But then once everything happened with what'd you say?
I said, well, that's when they was trash. You was like,
yeah. I had a jersey, everything, bro. I was serious about it. And I stayed a fan until the whole Deshaun Watson thing happened. I mean, I believe he did it, but I believe they knew beforehand. They was just trying to cover it up. And then when he asked for money, they was like, all right, let's drop this bomb. So I stopped being a fan. But since I graduated from Ohio State and CJ Stroud there now, I was like, you know what? I think I might come back.
Come on back, man. You could be come on. I'm recruiting folks like LeBron did when he went to Miami. Come on, me, you, Chris Bosh, we'll be the big three fans.
But I gotta be a fan from afar, man, because the STD rates is high, super high.
Well, nobody said you gotta go in the locker room, man. Just cheer and go home, man. You're supposed to be rubbing on stuff while you're up in there. Just get the hell out of there.
I feel like it's
hey, let me get that jock strap. Nah, man.
I feel like it's contagious, like allergies, man. Everybody down there getting STDs, man. You can't even breathe in the air, bro. It's crazy down there.
Well, yeah, it's not the only STD that's in the air is pink eye. So you got to rub your eye. The rest of the things you got to be up on somebody real bad.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but you do mess with Houston because I did see that you had a Trill burger. How was that? Because I had one. But I took a mushroom pill beforehand, so I couldn't really get a grip of like how good it was. My stomach was done. So
I forgot. I didn't even know that. Hey man, it was pretty good. It's because like it's really like a cool little basic burger. Like it ain't like super phenomenal, but it's done hella good. Like they do their Trill burger cool. Like it was. I got to go back again because I don't know if it was all me hyping it up, but I wasn't mad at it. Like it was
Yeah.
cool. I was like, okay, I ain't mad at this. I could slam one of these. You can't. It's a black restaurant, so they like don't be giving me no hope. This ain't Burger King, so don't be asking me to take off pickles and take off this. It's what's on the ad. That's all you get. So, but it was cool. Everybody in there was dressed like all the ladies was dressed like Bun B was gonna be up in there that day. Like they was finna be in this next video. It looked like a Love and Hip Hop Extras cattle casting call up in there. I was like, I see one more heifer that's way too big wearing way too small clothes up in here.
Yeah.
With the tarantula eyelashes. I was like, oh my God.
Now, with you being like a seasoned comic, a seasoned artist, and just in general, how do you stay like sharp on your skills? Because from one eye or one perspective, it could look as if you already made it, but you might have personal goals and dreams that you want to accomplish at this stage of your career. So how do you stay sharp?
Because I haven't made it. Because I'm not detached enough like Eddie Murphy. I'm not in no gated community, so I still blocks away from everything. So even though there's a piano in my background, that ain't real. So yeah, I still go out to the comedy clubs. I still live. So that's where a lot of my comedy comes from is watching people, and I'm still a famous adjacent to where folks be like, I know you from somewhere, and I'd be like, church. Where'd you go to high school? It's not till they walk up, they be like, oh man, that's the dude from the Parkers. So, so I still can mingle with folks and still go to places like the mall and just sit up and watch folks and then look at people argue and make it a whole comedy set. Like regular stuff is still funny to me. I'm not too detached to be like, because Kevin Hart did a special and he did a 15 minutes. First of all, he did a special in his house. And I was like, that is way too pretentious. Be like, my house is so fly, I'm gonna bring people to my studio. And in that special, he did 15 minutes on. He wanted a deep pizza cooker in his backyard, like Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah,
and that don't resonate with regular audience because most folks ain't got that kind of space in their backyard.
Right.
So yeah, I still can relate to folks. I'm still, 3 paychecks away from being working at the post office. Like, hey man, how was it working with Denzel? Man, shut up, I gotta get these letters out.
How did you know that you were funny? And what I mean by that is when we get into the game of comedy or just being an artist, we believe we are funny, and then we have like maybe someone may take us on the road with them, or we might book a spot at a famous club, or we may just have that one set where everyone is congratulating us and say that was really good. So when you got into the game of comedy, when did you like feel more confident that you can do this and that you were funny?
Because when I was, well, they still do it, but it's not as prevalent as it was. But when I was coming up, used to get bumped for the more famous comics. And nowadays, folks are like, well, I'm just gonna leave, man. I can't follow such and such. But I was like, I need this 4 or 5 minutes of my time to do it. So I got bumped by Cedric the Entertainer, and he was like, man, you all right. It wasn't a polished 5 minutes, but it was funny enough to catch his attention. So I was like, okay, I know what I kind of get what I'm doing in here. And then when I finally found my voice as what I write, and it became, if it's funny to me, I'm pretty sure I can make it funny to the audience. And so that's kind of how I was like, okay, I'm kind of funny with this. Like not in an arrogant way, but it's like if you play sports and you like, okay, my jumper is cool. Like I got some game. I can hang with this NBA. What's the dude name? The youngster. Flag, the basketball player who he just signed with Duke, but they just had him on playing against the USA Olympic team, and he was giving it to him, and he was like, okay, I can hang with these cats. So once you're around professionals who you've admired and somewhat patterned your comedy after, or your path after, and you work out with them or you perform with them, and one, they pay attention, and two, they tell you that you actually funny, you're like, okay, I think I could do this.
Yeah, yeah, that's important. With such being in like a crowded scene in LA for just artists in general, and like you might have, you know, a singer all of a sudden want to be an actor or this, that, and the third. Like we even seen
Or
like
be a
Freddie Gibbs.
comedian.
Yeah, we even seen like Freddie Gibbs, who's a rapper, start to
Mhm.
do comedy a little bit. How do you stand out in such a crowded scene?
Um, well, I've always I've always been here, so I've seen in comedy and in acting. Well, comedy more so than acting, because acting is somebody else picking you. You audition for them, and it's a lot of different things. But in comedy, the cream always rises to the top. Like the talent comes through. Like it doesn't matter how they started, they all got to do the same steps as you. Like they all got to build a set, they all got to show their talent. And if your funny resonates with more people, then it doesn't matter how many people go on before you or go on after you or all that stuff, they still gonna remember you. So it literally, the cream rises to the top. And like one of my mentors said years ago, he was like, you just don't die. You just keep working on your craft. And as long as you breathing, know that, this is what God has for you. So just keep grinding on it. And the folks who are supposed to find you are gonna find you. So it's just literally like I said, the cream rises to the top, and they notice you no matter how many folks in the room.
Yeah, yeah. As I'm like growing or keep going in the comedy game, I realize, when you get like mainstream or whatever, there really isn't like no black ownership for clubs. I think one that was really important or big out there in LA was the comedy union. Like how important is it for us to start having not just black rooms but black clubs so that black artists can get more exposure, more stage time, and more importantly, um, talk to their own people.
Mm-hmm. Uh, it's big, like it's huge. The comedy union was really great in my not just my personal development, but like a whole 15, 10, almost 20 years of comedians development, because that was one of a lot of places in LA. People don't know. You go to the Laugh Factory, the Comedy Store, or Improv, they giving you 7 minutes, and they giving you 12 minutes and calling you the headliner. So you're not getting the time. And when you go on the road, you got to have 30 minutes of material. So the comedy union allowed myself and other comics to be able to get on stage and do 15, 20 minutes a night, and build a set so that we could go eat off of this. And like you said, it was our crowd, so it was not just, I hate you, I call them nigga nights every other place. Give you one night and it'd be the blackest night, but
Yeah,
nobody was there that can do anything for your career in terms of from that comedy club. And people that are like the people who book the shows for other nights, they not there on the black nights. So
yeah,
you can get booked on those black nights. But the comedy union, if you did well on a Tuesday, they be like, "Well, come back and feature for this weekend, because we got Lavelle Crawford coming in town for the weekend, and he needs some opening acts." So it allowed you to work on your set, and it also allowed other comedians from around the country to come see you in a setting that was conducive to your comedy. Like they both closed. Comedy Union's gone. The J Spot's closed. There's no black comedy clubs in LA. There's just
yeah,
niggas. They got nigga nights, and now that they have now that the Comedy Union and the J Spot are gone, it's almost like the gatekeepers are back. Like, oh yeah, we'll let you come on and do 10, 15 minutes. We'll let you come on and do 5 minutes, but in
yeah,
a 6 months. The Comedy Union, you was getting up every week, like at least once a week, a couple times a week if you was funny. So you were able to build your craft, build your chops, and then you could, take it on the road.
Yeah, I don't know if it stunts the growth or if it just make you work harder. But like when you go to like these clubs and you only seen about 7 black people or 2, you kind of like, man, I don't know if these people are gonna get my jokes. I just be like, F it, and I just go up there and do it regardless.
Yeah.
They laugh, they laugh. If not, I just take it as a rep. But it does make it a little bit hard. I'm at the point now, and I'm so young. I'm only like 4.5 years in, but I'm super tired of just performing in front of all white people. Do you ever get like tired of that shit?
Yeah, it's because it's like a double-edged sword. One, because you have to a certain extent, code switch, because you can't talk about everything that we talk about with each other.
Yeah.
So having a place like the Comedy Union allowed you to talk about what we talk about, but then going to other rooms, it gave you a way to be able to like I could take my material from the Comedy Union and do it at other places because I was comfortable enough with it that I could talk about it and not feel bad about how I was presenting it to the white audiences. And you comfortable in your comedy, so they get it. Like you can relay it to them that they understand it. But yeah, it's definitely different, especially if these clubs are giving you 5 to 7 minutes. So you're not really giving them. It's almost like you feel like I got to get up here and tap dance real tough for them so they can give me some more time. But it's like I said, it's a double-edged sword because there's more other nationalities comedy clubs and comedy rooms than black folks, but you gotta not feel like you are up there, like you said, shucking and jiving for all white room. Like you want to feel like if like where I am now, but you from where I was then, like I wouldn't if it's an all white crowd to this day, I don't say the word nigga. Like I will if I because I'd be like, nah, y'all laughing too hard at that. Way too much fun with this nigga word right here. So I won't say it. So but to have the freedom and the comfort level of doing it, not just on a night, but in a club that is black, and then other folks will come into that club, it gives you a different confidence and swag, if you will.
Yeah. Being in environments like that, when you see another black comic, it does make you well, for some, I guess, network and connect with certain comedians. And you've done a good job of that, being the host of the Comedy Cafe and co-host of Quake's House and being on Sirius XM with Kevin Hart. How has those relationships kept you in the game, kept you still getting time working on your craft and getting better?
Well, it's helped because, like I said, it's endless networking. Like as the host of the Comedy Cafe, I also am one of the producers that books the show. So it has allowed me to cultivate relationships with, not just the comics in LA, but around the country, that can come in and I know can rock the mic on our show. And then Quake's House is great because it's a rotating cast of comics who are on the show with him. So I've gotten to know some comics that I didn't know, from different parts of the country. And then also, renew and cultivate the relationships with the comics I already knew and hang out with them. And you'd be like, oh yeah, I can work with y'all. So it's allowed me to stay relevant because it, like I said, kept me in the streets because one, I got to book the show for the Comedy Cafe, and then two, I enjoy just working and playing off of the comics on Quake's House show.
Yeah.
And then that audience is not even just nationwide; it's worldwide. Wherever Sirius, people got the Sirius satellite radio, so people pop up at your shows. You could be in Iowa, and they be like, "Man, I heard your Quake's House. That's why I came to the show." Like, okay. I didn't know you were listening to that, Pastor, but okay, thank you.
Yeah, I like the radio aspect of radio of comedy. I'm not gonna say it's like as important, but it definitely was like a something that was important back in the day. And so I
Mm-hmm.
love when comics still tap into that. It's really, really great. What is like one of your favorite memories, or like craziest memories while on set? Not like your comedy set, but like, for
Oh,
acting and stuff like that. What was like your favorite or craziest memories?
favorite and craziest, those probably two different things. But my my one of my favorite memories was I starred in a movie called They Call Me Sir with Michael Clark Duncan, and I got to play football. Like I was a football player, and I was a football player through high school. Walked on for a minute at UCLA, realized those folks were huge, and I quit. But I got to play football in the movie up in Canada for 6 weeks. So that was one of my favorite memories. One of my craziest memories was being on Family Matters set when they weren't getting along. So it was like nobody on the set liked each other. Like I was a guest star on it, but I did not realize nobody liked each other. So it was crazy because when they would work together, they'd be acting like, like they enjoy each other. Very good actors because they were like, and they'd be interacting with each other and be like, oh, snap, there y'all go. And they yell cut, and they all would go to their dressing rooms and disappear like roaches. We'd just be sitting there like, oh, what happened? What happened? And the same thing was like that on Moesha. I was guest on there, and her and Countess Vaughn were beefing. And when they would yell cut, it would be like, I think they finna fight up in here.
That's crazy. Who was Kente before you started your artistry, and who is Kente now?
Uh, Kente, before I started my artistry, was a full blown shy nerd. I I was scared. I was. It would be really hard for me to talk to girls. Um, my freshman year of high school, my first day, my sister dressed me, had me going to school looking like I was going to do somebody's taxes. I had on damn near with corduroy pants on and penny loafers. And the next year I started playing football, and I realized you could start doing jokes and cracking jokes, and then girls would start paying attention to you.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, pre comedy and pre acting, full nerd, full nerd. I still read comic books to this day, but I used to go home and just close the door and be in there reading comic
Yeah.
books, playing with Star Wars action figures. And that'd be like, you too over that. That'd have been the head of Marvel. Look at you, that's stunting my growth. But and me now, I'm still I'm a more comfortable black nerd now. Like I can tell folks, like I got a tattoo on this arm of the Black Panther comic book character, and on the other one is Icon, this DC comic book character, was like the Black Superman. So I'm comfortable in my black nerddom, and it's cool to be nerds now. So I can talk about it on stage. Still a father to my daughter, so none of that stuff has changed. Now I can proudly say I'm finna get off of here and go play my PlayStation 5. And won't nobody be like, you don't nobody play video games. Everybody does. Shut up.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to NCAA football coming out. I took off for that day.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I got I pre-ordered it, so
Oh
I'm
man.
literally waiting. I'm counting down the hours like it's New Year's.
Yeah, I couldn't pre-order it because I was like, man, I only got so many vacation days left. I was like, let me hold on to these as much as I can, because
Oh yeah,
I end up taking a whole week off, man. Yeah, that's what's up, man.
yeah.
How is it like you? Because I'm not in this position now, but you have a child. How is it like? Because like it's embedded in my head, maybe because my mom and her generation, to like find a job, stay at that job for as long as you can, work. But now this generation is a little different. Like, we're not doing the traditional 9 to 5. We're being a creative. You are ahead of your time being a creative.
Mhm.
Um, how is it now that it's acceptable? How does that make you feel? Do you feel like, I don't want to necessarily say like justified, or do you feel like more ahead of the game? Do you feel more prepared for like this generation? Because I feel like all of you that took that risk on yourself and say, I'm not going to do this, and now content creating is here and it's available, like, you guys are like light years ahead of like my generation.
Right. Well, yes and no, because y'all were raised with the technology, so
Yeah.
it's embedded in y'all. Like I had to learn how to type. Y'all type everything, so y'all type faster than me. So y'all content creation is embedded in your psyche. So you can go be like, okay, we're just gonna do a quick skit right now. I'll be like,
Yeah.
well, I get the lighting right. We gotta get this right. We gotta do this. How many phones we got? Download stuff. How do I edit this?
Yeah.
So you guys are more comfortable with the technology. Also, you guys are more comfortable with not staying on a job forever. Like you said, your moms and them and my mom's and them generation and my generation was like, you get a good job and you retire, this, that, and third. But y'all be like, I can, like my nephew, he's pretty much an entrepreneur because he's third generation entrepreneur. My parents, his moms, and then him. But you can do everything from your phone. So you can run an empire just from your iPhone or your Droid or whatever. So it's you're not confined to the security of having a 9 to 5. Like
Yeah.
you okay with, let me go out and kill what so I can eat. Like I was oxymoron. Folks were like, man, you out here, I couldn't do what you do. But y'all generation be like, well, I definitely want to do what you do because it's more fun. Like,
Yeah.
and that's the difference, is that y'all see the fun in jumping off the cliff with pretty much no safety net and
Yeah.
and just gliding to the ground. My generation, man, I got to see what's at the bottom before I jump. Man, it's something, you crazy, you did that, but it pays off the same. But I think your generation is more equipped to take the jump. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
we did it before the technology and everything, so we was just hoping and praying somebody figured out what we was doing.
How do you parent that? Because like how you were parent is so different than how you parent your children. And
Mm-hmm.
like I see my mom kind of struggle with it a little bit, but she's adjusting slowly but surely. Like,
Mm-hmm.
do you even catch yourself like saying what your parents saying and be like, this not even relevant for what my like what my child is doing?
Yeah, I'll say it, and then my daughter would be like, "That's not even how things work anymore."
Yeah.
And I'll be like, "Dang, that's what I said to my daddy back in the day." You don't understand. It's not how it works. But the the crux of it, or the core of it, is still the same. Like you still, if you're gonna be an entrepreneur, you still got to grind and hustle for
Yeah.
yourself until the money finds you. Like
Yeah.
you gotta be eating lean. You can't be worried about what people doing on Instagram and folks is flossing this, that, and the third, because you got to worry about what you do. So that core part is the same. But me saying, hey, you got to just get you a good job and work for, like, literally, your generation don't even really low key need a college degree. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
going to get folks mad, but you don't. I don't even know if they check for that anymore when you're going for a job, because
Yeah.
even in my generation, 80% of the people who got a degree never worked in the field that they got degrees in, myself included. So
Yeah.
it's changed, and you gotta, as a, I think the good thing about me that makes me different than my father is that I'm flexible enough to be like, okay, you know what, I might be wrong with that. I'm gonna let you do it. And I always told my daughter, I'm gonna let you fall, but I'm not gonna let you bust your face.
Yeah.
So you can get down, skin a knee or something, but I'm not gonna let you fall to where you bust your whole grill up. So
Yeah.
I'll be and my parents were supportive and when I was starting, but seeing that now I'm like, it's because it could change like that for her in a day, and I'd be like,
Yeah.
well, I need you to go and take care of your pops. I was the one.
Yeah, I think during the election, after the not the election, after the debate, they were talking about how 16 to 24-year-olds, I don't know if this is the highest they've ever been unemployed, but they have like a high unemployment rate. And I
Mhm.
was like, yeah, but are we taking into account that most of these 16 to 24-year-olds are probably getting paid off Instagram, Facebook,
Exactly.
social media? And then two, there's no more malls. Like that's where you worked at when you was at that age. You worked at the mall. There's no more
Mhm.
malls left. Everything's online. So I
Yeah.
think even people or like historians or like America, I feel like we're so stuck on tradition, we're not even like taking that into like consideration when it comes to like the younger generation and stuff.
Right. No, you're 100% correct because 16 to 24 is like I'd rather work for myself.
Yeah,
Postmating is a job, and in those 4 or 5 hours of Uber Eats or whatever you do, driving people around, you can make what you make in a mall.
yeah.
Working at hot dog on a stick for 8 hours. So it's a whole different get down. And like you said, you can create content and make money on your page. Doing what you love to do. Folks is on Twitch playing video games for hours and
Yeah,
making hundreds of thousands of dollars. So
yeah.
that
I was thinking, I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, dang, bro, I really could have. If my mom would have been like, get off that game, I really could have. But I was like, no, you couldn't have, because you never played on like all Madden level. You weren't that good.
yeah,
You was just,
yeah, yeah,
he's
yeah.
like the best rookie there was.
Right. But I mean, it's like folks, like I said, that's like folks finding their lane because it's folks on there who play on there who are, they people watch them lose.
Yeah,
Like is people that be like, okay, I ain't gonna be great, but I'm gonna have fun doing it. So it,
yeah,
this generation that's different than mine is that a lot more young people watch other people do stuff instead of them doing it. So there's an audience if you're doing it. Like it's a generation of kids that don't play with toys, but go
yeah,
on YouTube and watch other people play with toys. I'm like,
yeah,
well, I could just get you the toy, but I don't want to play with it. I just want to watch somebody else play with it. I'm like, what is wrong with y'all? That's when I
yeah,
talk to
man.
the old man. I'm like, yo, back in my day, I was not waiting for somebody to play with a toy. I'd be fighting you to play with that toy next. So, but yeah,
Man,
there's a difference in it's more of a voyeurism, and because this generation has had so much cameras and iPhones
yeah,
and stuff they can watch that they're not so much participants, they're more of a viewer.
yeah, yeah, yeah. As we start to wrap this up, I always like to ask the same series of questions. And the first one I'm going to ask you is, who is on your Mount Rushmore for comedy?
Okay. Richard Pryor, George Carlin, Eddie Murphy, and the one more, uh, Red Fox. I put
Okay,
Red.
okay,
No, I got it. Plus a bonus, Bernie Mac. Bernie Mac, I
okay, okay.
slept
All
on
right,
one.
for the last two, I have there's a record store up here, and I
Mhm.
get like comedy albums sometimes. They never have Red Fox. I need to see if they have Red Fox. I just want to throw that out there. And
Yeah.
then two, I want to do because I consider myself a filmmaker too. I want to do like a documentary. I love documentaries. I want to do a documentary on just like going to Chicago and trying to find like a Bernie Mac hour, like just a tape of him doing an hour, because there's I mean, he has Kings of Comedy, but he doesn't have
Mhm.
like his own hour that I know of, like to watch. And I think that would be like dope, because like he
That
needs
would
his
be,
own special. Like that was
yeah,
super
that would
dope.
be a dope. That would be a dope documentary. I think
Yeah,
that would be
yeah,
fire. Keep that one
yeah.
close to the vest. But yeah, that'd be a dope.
All right. What is like words of motivation that you could give to anybody that is listening to this right now?
Um, Find your passion, and once you find your passion, don't let nobody else tell you that that's not your passion. Like it's gonna be people out there, friends, family, and people that don't know you that's gonna always try to shit on your dreams, to put it mildly. It happened to me. It's happened to everyone. But you, if it's your passion and it brings you joy, do it, and the money will find you. Like, I can definitely say, if you keep doing it and don't quit, the money will find you if you're talented at your passion.
Message.
Kente, tell people why they should listen to Comedians in Bed.
Oh, I was like, wait, because we freaky? I don't know. No, I forgot that was the name of the show for a minute. I was like, in bed. Well, that's nasty. Y'all all up in my house. You should listen to Comedians in Bed because, one, comedians are the truth sayers of the world, not even just the country. We say what everybody is thinking. And when you come on Comedians in Bed, Ty allows us to give you a little bit more of what we talking, what we thinking about, not just what we say on stage. And we deeper than most. Like, these are the things about comedians. I tell folks is we are our own instrument. So we are jazz, but we are the saxophone. We got to be the trumpet one night. We got to be the bass guitar. We are all of that in one. That's why we are, as comedians, we are the unicorns of entertainment. Like, we don't have no background singers. We don't have no band behind us. We don't have somebody else's words for the most part that we are reciting and saying them as a character. This is all us, butt naked on stage, making you laugh at our genius.
Well, Kente, I'm more like a tambourine. So
At least you didn't say you was a triangle. I'm just a triangle, bro. Just tinker, tinker, tinker. Church house, man. Churches that lady with the tambourine in the third row. I don't understand it. Gotta have them. Gotta have them.
hey man, listen, there's this girl, this is a minister at my church. She be having I gotta take a picture of it. She be having these heels and like the where the toes that is like tambourines on it.
Oh,
And so
no.
like when she be walking in church, like sometimes she be like trying to walk light so she don't make noise. I'm like, then what was the point of wearing it? Like, what was the point? Like, what? Come on, nigga. Like, what is we doing?
Take a picture immediately. I need you to go to Sunday service this week and just take a picture as incognito as you can of her feet. I don't want you to get thrown out of the service because you got a camera all on her toes. They be like, he trying to do some OnlyFans shit up here in the congregation.
Oh man, Kente, tell people where they can find you at.
You can find me at Contagious on anything, KenteGious. Or if that's too hard, just put Kente Scott in Google search. I'm the only one gonna pop up. The good thing about being named Kente Scott is I can get any email or username I want, but I can never get a corporate job. So it's a Kente Scott 001. That means I forgot the password to Kente Scott on that.
Hey man, if you want to check out next week's episode, you can catch us where we go live on my YouTube channel at TYE Comedy. If you missed that, that's totally fine. You could catch us wherever you listen to podcasts. We stream wherever, and also you could catch weekly clips on my on our IG page at Comedians in Bed Podcast. You want to thank my man Kente Scott one more time. If you're in the LA area, or we didn't talk about it, but if you're on a cruise, you might see him, so you're gonna want to go ahead and get those tickets and check him out. My man Kente, we want to thank you once again. Everybody else, we'll see you guys next week.
Appreciate your time. Comedians in Bed.